Thank you, Colonel Steyn. Now, sir, may you kindly, from the documents that you have and the documents that you worked on, show me calls that were made after the incident that took place between accused number 5 and Kelly. Just take your time. The stack of documents that you have, go through and tell me, or this court, that is call number 1, call number 2, and etc.
After the incident?
Yes.
I only got information section 205 until the 27th.
So you don't have calls that were made after the 27th?
No, no.
I mean, after the incident?
No.
Mina ke ngakuthola ukuthi ke ma calls noma ke ukuxhumana okwafica ke nge27 ukuthi ke ukuxhumana kwakukhona emuva kwesiganeko cha anginakho lokho.
No, now I hear you mentioning the 27th. What's the 27th? Because this incident took place on the 26th.
That's correct?
Yes.
But they only requested information from section 205 until the 27th.
Mina ke engakucelwa ke ukuthi ke ama 205 sengwenzayo ukuthi ayogcina ke nge27.
So you don't have calls after the incident,
No.
which you're able to identify?
Ukuthi ama calls ke esemuva kwesiganeko cha anginakho.
That's a fact.
That's correct.
Thank you.
I can just double check on Pinky's records, but I don't know. I don't think I
Pinky's
got.
records. Okay, no, fine. You can go on Pinky's record. That is now Mrs. Vitilingam.
That's correct.
Thank you, sir.
Stop on the 27th.
Thank you,
Ubheke
sir.
kula ka Pinky ke lo ka Vodacom ke uthi gcina nge27.
Now, somebody coming and tell this court that I can state it for a show that there were indeed calls that were made after the incident, which were between accused number 5 and Kelly Kumalo. That will be wrong, not so?
It depends on what section 205 is in their position.
Thank you.
Uma kungafika umuntu ke athi yena ke ngesiqiniseko akhona ke noma kwakhona ukuxhumana kwakukhona emuva kwesiganeko phakathi kwakhe ke uKelly Khumalo kanye nomangalo wesihlanu ungabe lo muntu wenza iphutha yini uthi ke lokho ke kuzoya ngokuthi ke yipi ke isection 205 anayo.
Let me be very direct with you. Let's go to Exhibit O1, which is your affidavit, page 23. Now, I think it's paragraph 4. The last but one line where it says two different, okay, I'm going to start just above that. It says the number Kelly Khumalo, 27827044358 had contact with the number 27733059202 on 2 different occasions. Calls made before and after the incident. That is the 2nd of August and the 15th of October. Do you see that?
That's correct.
Thank you. Now, which is the reason why I asked you to show me calls that were made after the incident. And you say such calls never happened, not so?
That's a typing error, my lord.
Kodwa ke umfundela lana ke la bhale khona inamba ka Kelly Khumalo 2782704438 yayi noxhumana ke nenamba 277330592002 kumahlandla amabili ke 2 August 2014 ne 15 October 2014 tumephendula ke noma kubhaliwe ke lana ama calls enziwa ke ngaphambi nasemuva kwesiganeko uthi nje uma sekubhalwa ke khona lapha kwaba nephutha.
What could have occasioned this mistake, sir?
Come again?
What could have occasioned this mistake? I'm sorry, I'm not shouting. I'm just trying to help you to hear me well. Don't misunderstand me to be shouting. So I'm saying, what could have occasioned, what could have caused this typing error?
I don't know. It's a typing error.
Ukuthi ke leliphutha lenziwa yini angazi yikwaba yiphutha nje.
You're only realizing now that this is a typing error.
That's correct.
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi kuyinto engiyibona manje ke ukuthi kuyiphutha.
Thank you, sir. on several occasions. For starters, we are led by the state throughout this document. When you proffered your testimony in August last year, I just can't remember the date, the state took you throughout this document. Didn't you realize then that this was a typing error that needed to be corrected?
I didn't read my statement line by line. I took it out of my head.
Kusukela kunyaka ondluleke umshushisi ke ubuza imibuzo kutshe kwakhe nabameli bekubuza imibuzo awukaze yini ubone ukuthi yiphutha lelo lalifuna ukulungiswa ngasifundanga ke istatement sami ke lokho bengikusho nje lokho ke engikwaziyo noma ekula kumina ekhanda.
Thank you. You were also subjected to cross-examination by all the defense counsels here. Did it not also occur to you that you needed to correct this, as it was a typing error?
No.
Thank you.
Ke nangenkathi kubuza ke imibuzo noma ngihlonya imibuzo abameli nalapho ke akungifikelanga ke ukuthi angilungise leliphutha.
You are also re-examined by the state. It also did not dawn on you that you should indicate and correct this error which you're referring to as a typing error when you were being re-examined for the last time by the state.
That's correct.
Namanje ke uma umbuso usuphinda ke ngihloma imibuzo nalapho ke angikubonanga ke noma kufikanga kumina ukuthi ke angilungise lelo phutha lelo.
Thank you. Now, is it correct that I heard you well yesterday when the state asked you a question? Just a second. With regard to the information that is contained on table number 20, on the table that is in page number 23 of your affidavit, which is exhibit 01, with regard to the 2-hour rule, and you said to the state, I forgot to include the 2-hour rule in my previous affidavit. Did I hear you well in that regard?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Kuyiqiniso ngizwe kahle ke uma bengisho ke ngiphendula umbuzo kamshushisi ukuthi ngakhohlwa ke ukufaka leya rule noma leya mthetho ke wamahora amabili. Istatement sami sangaphambilini.
Now, just to clear or to clear up this issue and to try and understand what is it that we're talking about, I'm going to request you to put on record which information or in relation to what information did you forget to add this 2-hour rule on?
The information receiving from the download.
Kuloko kumayelana ke naleya mniningwane noma leya information etholakala kuma download.
Let's take it step by step. From the download, you received so many information as I was listening to your evidence. Specifically, the state was referring you to what is contained in page number 23. If you can go to page number 23
I'm
of
on
your
23.
affidavit. We are on page number 23.
That's correct.
Thank you. Now, as I'm saying, just to understand each other so that we are on the same page, me and you. That 2-hour rule that you forgot to include in your affidavit in relation to page number 23, what aspect of information contained in page number 23 were you referring to?
I don't understand you.
Yes, I can see you don't understand me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
because the time here must be 2 hours plus.
Ukuthi ke umbuzo wakho ukuthi yipi ke ingxenye noma isigaba saloko page 23 engakhohlwa kusona ke ukuthi ngifake le rule ye 2 hours angikuzwa ke kodwa ke la isikhathi kufanele ukuthi ke sibuye amahora amabili.
Say on page number 23, There's a lot of information. There's a table, there is information, there's another little table there, there is also information at the bottom of page number 23. Now my question is, in relation to what information is contained in page number 23, did you forgot to include the 2-hour provision?
With the hours, correct?
Ukhohlwa kwami ke yebo kwakungukhohlwa kwami ngamahora ukhuluma iqiniso.
That I understand. What I'm asking is in relation to what information that is contained in page number 23 did you forget to include the 2-hour provision? I don't know how to put it.
My lord, I also don't know.
No, I understand what he wants to get at, but I don't want to interfere.
Yes.
Because time is time.
That's correct.
We're talking about the concept time,
That's correct.
and you're not characterizing it as to at 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock. You're just taking the concept time. 2 hours was forgotten by you to be elicited on
That's
on
correct.
those documents, all of them.
Yes, that's
That's
correct.
that's how I understand it.
Let me try to put it this way. Actually, that is not what I'm meaning.
Okay.
Let's go to page number 23. Are you on page number 23?
That's correct. I already mentioned it.
Of your affidavit, just be patient. Colonel Steyn, just be patient. Is it correct that on page number 23 there's a table there?
That's correct.
And that table, it's a table that consists of names of people like Kelly Kumalo, the cell phone numbers, the IMSI numbers, and all that information. Do you see that?
That's correct.
Is that the table in which you forgot to include that 2-hour provision on?
Now you're talking about this one, the top one. No,
Yes.
no, that is an extraction.
Lana ke phezulu la kubhalwe khona amagama abantu namanamba asikona la engikhohle kona ukufaka lamahora amabili.
Thank you. Now there's a sentence there that says links from Kelly Kumalo, and they state the number that ends with 358, and from the number that ends with 202 Fisoguhle Ntuli at Nkani in brackets 5. Do you see that?
That's correct.
Now there is also save as Kelly 2 call section 205 Senzo. Do you see that?
That's correct.
There's another table there. Do you see that?
That's correct.
Now, is that the table wherein you forgot to include the 2-hour rule or not?
This table correct, yes?
Yes.
Yebo lana ke kule yesibili ke ithebulu ke manje nemininingwane ama IMEI ukuthi uhlobo luni le call iqala nini, date, isikhathi, omunye kanye ne cell name, yila khona ke ngikhohlwe khona ukufaka lamahora amabili.
Thank you. Now, so that we are again on the same page, let us include the 2-hour rule. Let us correct what you forgot. Let us now include what you forgot to include when you were preparing this document. Where should we include this 2-hour rule in this table?
22 plus 2, then it's 0, 0.
Where do we get that 22 plus 2 and then it's 0, 0?
Uthi ke lana ke ufuna ukwazi umele ukuthi sifaka kuphi ke manje lamahora amabili la kunesikhathi khona ke ubhalo 22 uma ke ufaka amahora amabili ke uzoba u00.
Then it's on the 3rd of August.
Bese kuthi ke manje akuseyona ke i2 zika August sekuyi3 zika August.
So I've asked you, you say 22, then we include the 2-hour, and then it's going to be 0, 0. Where in this table do we include that as an expert? Let us correct your information. Where on this table do we include it? That must be on record.
I testified on yesterday.
I'm not asking you what you testified about yesterday. I'm asking you questions now. I'm not asking you questions yesterday. I'm asking you, where do we include this 2-hour provision in this table? That table has got headings. The what is it now? the MSSIDSN, the IMSI, the IMAIN, the call type, the start date, the call, the other party, the call time. Now, in respect of those headings, where do we fit in that 2-hour provision?
He was asked as to which aspect did he forget to include. He said the time must be 2 hours plus. And he was then asked as to that he must now include the 2 hours in the table. And he included that. He said 2240 must be 0040.
Let's call it, let's call it like we call it in South Africa. 20 past or quarter past. Call it like so that we can understand. Don't come with 22 hours. Let's say 11 minutes past this or 12 minutes past this, so that we all understand.
Yes, it's 20 minutes.
That's it.
The first portion there on the table, he said will be.
I'm not so sure whether this is an objection or what, Martin, because I see now the state is taking over, leading up the witness.
Let Mr.
I don't know whether it's an objection or what, because it can only stand up on
It's
a
not an
point of
objection.
objection,
The way I
although it's not
understand
a
him,
parliament.
it's not an objection, it's a correction. Is that a correction or an objection, sir?
Well, my lord, we said that the witness has already answered this
Right.
question repeatedly.
Right.
He was asked to include the 2 hours, and he has, in his answer, he answered and included the 2 hours. He said it would be 0040. And now he's asked again.
Wait. It becomes 004 when what is added to
when
that?
the 2 hours are
The 2
added.
hours
Yes,
is added to that time.
yes.
And it becomes 004. That's why he says it's on the 23rd now.
No, he said on the 3rd of
I mean on the 3rd.
Yes.
Now, onto which hour does he add the 2 hours? So that we all understand.
Yes. I'm not going to answer for him, but he said, on the 2nd of August, 2240 will be
22,
22. Yeah, 2240.
it's 11 minutes or 10 minutes.
Yeah, 20. It's 22 minutes to 11.
22 minutes to
20 minutes to 11 will
11.
be 20 minutes to 1. This is his answer.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Akushoyo noma kulungisayo ke la umsheshisi ukuthi ufakazi ukuphendulileke lokho ngoba idate ebhaliwe la i2 August 2014 wabe sethi ke manje lezi ayi2 August zizoshintsha zibe uyi3 August isikhathi sithi 22:40:47 but uma ke usengeza ke noma usu-add lamahora amabili akhuluma ngawo uzoshintsha lo ya 22 abe u00:40:47.
Okay.
So,
And we just, sorry to interrupt, we just want to refer to page 69 of the record of the 27th of July 2023.
Wait. Page 69 of the record, ne?
Yes.
Right,
Of
7th
the
of July.
27th of July 2023.
2023, right?
Yes, it's line 3 up to line 7.
Can you read that for all of us?
It says, Mr. Steyn, we must keep in mind.
objection, my lord, objection. This is totally irregular.
It's not irregular.
It is,
wait,
because
wait.
the state had an opportunity to lead this witness on the information
I
that he
thought-
wants to place on record
No,
now.
no.
I am now cross-examining this witness. He will have an opportunity
Oh,
to
okay.
re-examine
Okay,
him.
they say can do it in re-examination again.
Oh. This is highly irregular, unethical as well, my lord, because he knows
As a
what
court,
his
please, my lord.
responsibilities are. He can't do that when I'm cross-examining a witness.
Mr. Mnisi is always acerbic, and I think it's about time that he should be called to order. He should just carry on with. We always extend the courtesy to him as a court official, and it's expected of him that he should do the same.
My lord, I can't keep quiet when I see something which is wrong and it is happening, and I simply keep quiet for the sake of being called an ethical person. Wrong is wrong for all intents and purposes. Courts are governed by certain procedures. Mr. Baloyi cannot stand up when I am cross-examining a witness and start to lead a witness on a particular aspect, that he should have led that witness in his evidence in chief.
I don't
The
understand.
least that he can do is, if information comes up under cross-examination, that he feels he need to follow up that information, he still have a chance to do that under re-examination.
Yeah, right.
But he can't do what he has now done. I
But-
don't
but
care what he
I
calls
thought
me.
You as colleagues, I thought you as colleagues, you want this court to be empowered with the truth.
Yes.
It's not a court of tricks and technicalities, and it's not me saying that about the law. It's about 5 judges saying it's sort of a court of technicalities and legal niceties. As I understood, Colonel Steyn, he tried to explain to you what happens when he adds the 2 hours. And you and Mr. Steyn couldn't understand each other. Thereafter, Mr. Baloyi stands up. That's why I say to you, call it like we call it in South Africa, 20 past 10 or what have you. Then he tells us that the time which is annotated as 22:40, when you add the 2 hours, it goes over to the third of the day, and then it becomes 00:40. Then Mr. Baloyi now says, actually this evidence by this very witness was on page 23. Sorry, was on page 69. Eh? I mean, now what are we fighting about? And all he's saying is that what this witness wanted to explain, you will also find it on page 69. As colleagues, just allow this guy to read that. That's it, and then we go ahead. Now we're taking points about a civic and what have you and what have you. Really?
It's the state that said I'm a civic, my lord. It's not me. I think that.
So that's how I understand it.
I think that sentiment is directed to
so
the
Mr.
state, but not
Baloyi
me.
is not leading this witness. He's reading from the record.
But my lord, that's my concern. That if he wanted to lead this witness on that aspect, he should have done that when he was leading him in evidence
Okay,
in chief.
go on, sir. Yeah, I can continue.
Finally, my lord, let me just also put this on record. It is also unethical when a party realizes that the witness that they've called has got some a kind of a discomfort in answering certain questions, and then for that party to stand up in order to rescue the situation. That is unethical as well. Let me proceed. Mr. Steyn, now in terms of what you have just said now, how should actually now this table read like after the correction has been made?
It must read
Yes.
3rd of August 2014, 00, double point 40, double point 47.
Nanjengoba lana ke kubhalwe 2 August 2014 kwaze kwabhala 22 40 47. Manje uma sekulungisiwe ke kufanele kube u3 August 2014 endaweni ka 22 kube u00 40 nama seconds awu 47.
Then the second time is 15 October 2014. The 17 become 19, 33, 57.
Bese kuthi landelayo ke yi15 ka October 2014 isikhathi sithi 17 33 57. Lo ya 17 ke manje usezosuka kube u19 33 57.
That is now in terms of how this table should look like after it has been corrected.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Indlela ke leyo kufanele manje ifundeka ngayo ke emuva kokuthi sekulungisiwe.
Now, Mr. Steyn, is it so that this information, you prepared it yourself?
That's correct.
Kuyiqiniswa ukuthi ke umuntu wayehlanganisa lokhu ke kwakuyimina.
Is it so that even before you send out this information, actually you started with the draft information before you could send it out? As you were doing the preparations, not so?
That's
The draft,
correct.
do you know what a draft is? Where
Yep.
you do, you know, a ramwerk, a
Yep.
skeleton work. Is that so?
That's correct.
Nokuthi ke ngaphambilini kokuthi ke bese ngiqedelela konke ke ngikuthumeleke ukuthi ke khona la bese noma ngithumela umsebenzi ke ebengekawuqedi ke lokhu ungathi ke ngaphambi kokuthi ngithumele lokhu osekuyikona.
Thank you. Now, even before you sent what you had already prepared, did you go through what you were supposed to send or what you have prepared before you sent it?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Kuyiqiniso nokuthi ngaphambilini kokuthi ngikuthumeleke ngakubheka.
Now, is it also correct that before you could come testify here at court, you had a consultation with the state on the basis of the information that you had prepared on behalf of the state?
That's correct.
Nokuthi ke ngaphambi kokuthi ngizokwethula ubufakazi ke enkantolo yebo ngihlezi ke ndamshushisi nababeshushisi kwenziwa lokho okuthiwa ke ukuconsulta noma ukuhlala phansi ke sikhulume ngecala.
Is it also correct that even before the beginning of the trial, you again consulted with the state for purposes of the trial after you had explained to them what is it that you had prepared on their behalf? Now you had a consultation for purposes of the trial, not so?
That's correct.
Nokuthi ke noma sengihlezi phansi ke nabo ngikhuluma nabo ke nokuthi ngibatshela ukuthi yini lena engihlanganisile ukulungiselela uqhula kwecala.
Thank you. Now, is it also so that you came and testified? You made reference to this document in your evidence in chief when you testified last year, not so?
That's correct.
Nangenkathi ngithula ubufakazi ke kunyaka ondlule ngangikhuluma ngayo le document leli.
Is it also correct that after you testified, then followed a cross-examination from the defense on the very same document that you had alluded to in your evidence in chief, not so? In other words, after your evidence in chief, you are cross-examined by the defense on the strength of this document, not so?
That's correct.
Nasemuva kokuthi umshushisi sebuze ke imibuzo nabameli nabo ke bangibuza futhi ngayo le document leli.
And after you were, all the defense counsel had cross-examined you, you were re-examined by the state amongst others on the very same document that you testified about in your evidence in chief, which you were also which you were cross-examined by the defense counsel, not so?
That's correct.
Uphindileke nombuso futhi noma umshushisi ke futhi sebeqedile abameli waphinde wabuza futhi ngayo le document.
Now you were recalled to come and clarify certain issues. Those issues were based on the same document that you had prepared and give your first evidence in chief last year, not so?
That's correct.
Ngabizwa futhi ke ukuthi angiphinde ke ngizochaza ke la bengahlangani khona ke ngalo futhi le document leli.
And now you're being re-examined, cross-examined again on the strength of that document, not so?
That's correct.
Ngiyaphinda futhi ke ngibuzwa ngayo futhi.
Thank you. Now I've counted, say, more than 5 occasions where you had an opportunity to realize that there is information that you have forgotten to include in this document. Which information is the information that we have just dealt with some few minutes ago? But the essence of my question is, do you then realize that you had more than 5 occasions where you could have had the opportunity to make amends to the document that you had prepared to the state, not so?
I don't agree with you.
Angivumelani ke nawe uma uthi ke bengingangaphezu kwamahlandla amahlanu la ebengalungisa khona ke iphutha leli.
Thank you. I won't argue with you. But let me tell you, sir, that indeed you had more than 5 occasions where you could have effected the corrections or the amendment on what you are now saying, something that you forget to include in the document.
No, I still can't agree.
Thank
because
you.
I did complete the statement and the statement was parked.
Thank you.
I didn't read it every day. 2 years later, I come and testify.
Nalapho ke angikavumelani ke naloko kushoyo ngoba ke istatement yebo ngasenza ke sase siyabeka emuva kweminyaka emibili ke istatement ngisenzile ke ngazo kwethula ubufakazi.
You say this statement was made 3 years ago.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Istatement lesi ngasenza ke kuminyaka emithathu edlule.
Let's go to page 88 of your statement, of that very same statement. Page 88. I think that should be the last page. Do you have page 88 there?
No, I don't have it. Page 28.
The one that I have does have page 88. That is the portion where I can show you.
I know you want to show me now when it's been, the oath's been signed.
Excuse me?
You want to show me when the oath's been done.
You're saying you don't have page 88 there,
No,
not so?
no.
Yes. So I want to show you what I have. Does have page 88. So I want you to look at page 88. May you please, I don't know if we've got court orderlies in this room. Somebody help me to hand this document over to Mr. Steyn. Mr. Steyn, can you just check there? That's page 88. Don't tear it, just leave it there.
That's correct.
Thank you, bring the document back. I think the state does have that information. Or out of courtesy, you can show them, yes. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now, page 88. It's a portion where an affidavit gets commissioned. Now, what is contained in page 88 here, it says, L. Steyn, I certify that the deponent has acknowledged, that's your signature there, I don't think you dispute it. It says, I certify that the deponent has acknowledged that she knows and understands the content of this declaration which was sworn before me, and the deponent's signature was placed thereon in my presence at Steyn on 2023. There's no month, there's no date, but the time was 0800. That's 8 o'clock. I don't know whether it's in the afternoon or in the morning, but I will assume it was in the morning. But the essence of what I'm trying to put to you, or not actually trying, what I'm putting it to you is that you've been dishonest with the court when you say that you worked on this document and then for 3 years it was parked there, I don't know where. Because it is evident from the commissioning oath that you only prepared this document in 2023, which is last year. Now, which 3 years are you referring to?
Don't put words in my mouth.
Well.
I'm telling the court, I joined this group, the investigation team, during 2020. So since 2020, I work on this document. I analyzed, I put the statement together and everything. And I finished up that time.
Iqemba noma ke ithimba leli ke angifuni ke usho into engayishilo ithimba leli ngahlangana nalo ke noma ngingajoina ke ngo2020 ngasebenza ke ngo2020 ngalona ke le document le ngabe sengiyabeka ke noma ke liyahlala khona lapha ya.
Become, Mr. Steyn, become. When I said to you, you had more than 5 occasions on which you would have been able to identify that there was something that you omitted in this document. Your answer was, you do not agree with me because you prepared this document. And then for 3 years, you haven't dealt with this document. It was lying somewhere, which is the reason why I immediately went to the date on which you prepared this document. And the date says 2023 at 8 o'clock. Although there's no month, there's no date there, but the year is 2023. Now the question is, where do you get the 3 years that you have not been involved with this document from? Because it is clear from this document that you prepared it in 2023, not in 2021. That would have been 3 years. Do you now understand me what I'm saying?
I understand you quite
Thank
well.
you.
Be maligned, that what counsel is saying is actually not correct. It must be read subject to what this witness has said
At the beginning.
on the page that my learned friend has objected, and that's page 69, the 27th of July 2023, lines 3 up to 7.
Just read that, let's hear, because I don't have a document.
Says Mr. Steyn, we must keep in mind if we are going to work on the cell phone downloads, with the download of the phone, you must always add plus 2 hours to the time which is being mentioned on the downloads. So if the download says it's 4 o'clock, then it is at least 6 o'clock.
Lana ke umshushisi ufunda ke athi ku page 69 ku record ke la nge 27 ka July 2023 lokhu ke cabanga ukuthi ke usiza ke la uadvocate Mnisi abuza khona ke ukuthi ke kufanele ke sicabangeke noma sikhumbuleke ukuthi uma kubhalwe isikhathi esi4 kongezwa ke amahora amabili okusho ukuthi ke sekuzofundeka nanjengo 6.
Oh, thank you. Is it done? Mr. Jonas, are you done? Okay, no, thank you. Thank you, Madam. The objection by the state, I don't know where does it come from, or in relation to what is it meant for? Because this witness says, after I've asked him about those 5 occasions, he says to me, and in a broader context to the court, that I do not agree with you that I had more than 5 occasions in which I could have been able to identify that I have missed something in my affidavit, because for 3 years I had prepared this document, then thereafter for 3 years it lied there. I never had signed, I never then worked on this document. The next moment I come to court and testify. If we understand each other up to that far, it will be fine. Then I say to him, let us go to your affidavit, which is the document that he said he prepared more than 3 years ago. This document says, or it was commissioned, and the date of commissioning simply indicates the date on which this document could have been finalized. This document says, I certify that the deponent has acknowledged that she knows and understand the contents of this declaration, which was sworn before me, and the deponent's signature was placed thereon in my presence at Steyn on 2023. There's no date, there's no month, but the time is stated at 8 in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. Now the question that I'm asking is, he says, for 3 years, he has not been in contact with this document. He has never worked on this document. When this document that he went on says that this document was commissioned only last year, now I'm asking him, where does he get this concept of a 3-year from? The period that he has not been involved with this document. That's simple answer. Simple answer. I'm not so sure, my Lord, if I can request that the witness should answer the question.
Yes, what's your answer, sir?
I still stick with my same answer, my Lord. But you must take in mind, I not only work on one case. I receive information on this case from the investigation team time by time. When we meet, we receive information, we receive requests. I've got other cases which I also deal with. The suspect is being arrested. After 2-3 years, they've been in court now. It wasn't an arrest and straight afterwards. I testify.
Okunye futhi okuzofanele ukukhumbuleke ukuthi ke ngibhekeneke noma ngisebenza ngamacala amaningi ahlukene futhi ke ngihlangana nethimba eliphenyayo bathi ke bacela lokhu siphinde sihlangane futhi bathi angikwenzele lokhu nokunye futhi ke ukuthi ke abasolwa ke baboshwa kwase ukuthi ke iminyaka emibili emithathu emuva kwalokho kwase liyaqala ke ukuthi liqhube icala akusuka ukuthi nje baboshwa ngabe senami sengizokwethula ke ubufakazi.
So do I then understand you, Mr. Steyn, to say that you just sucking this concept of you having not seen this document for 3 years?
I never said I haven't seen it for 3 years. I complete it and then I work on it and I park it and I work on it and I park it and I work on it.
Angikaze ngisho ukuthi ke kwandlula isikhathi eminyaka emithathu ngingalibhekanga le document noma ngisebenze ngalo bengithola ke lokho noma isicelo ke ngisebenze ngalo bese ngiyalibeka ngiphinde ngisebenze ngalo bese ngiyalibeka futhi.
Thank you. Let me put it to you, Mr. Steyn, that the sole purpose why the state has requested you to come and retestify, as the state calls it, to clarify certain issues, is because the state realizes that the road on which the state is traveling has got potholes. So we have just been called on to come and patch those potholes.
As the court pleases, I think the issue has been belabored during the application. It's not for this witness to comment on that. The reason why the state applied for his recalling was canvassed during the application, and we have now passed that stage, my lord. The court has already given judgment on that.
Yes, Mr. Mnisi.
Sir, I'm putting it to you that the reason why you have come to retestify is because the road on which the state is traveling has got horrible potholes. So in an endeavor to try and deal with the potholes, you have been requested to come and patch them up.
My lord, I don't agree.
Thank you.
I'm here to direct him in the right way, because it's clear to me that he don't understand my statement.
Akusona ke iqiniso ukuthi mina ngokubizwa kwami ke lana ingoba ke umbuso uyabona ke noma shushu bayabona ukuthi cha le ndlela ke abayihamba yona akusona ke indlela ehambekayo bese ukuthi mina ke angizolungisa lokho. Mina ngize lana ke ngokuthi ke ngizoqonisa ke ngoba ke kuyabonakala ke ukuthi cha istatement sami lesi awuzwisisi.
I won't take it up with you as to who doesn't understand your statement. But nonetheless, let's proceed. So it's your final evidence after the corrections and the patching up and the clarification has happened that the second transaction on page number 23 of that little table there, which you had prepared, should then read on that column that says start date. It should read 15 October 2014, 19, I think that's a semicolon or whatever, those two dashes there. 1933, and those semicolons again, 57.
That's correct.
Yebo kuyiqiniso ke ngishilo ke lokho ukuthi la kune date yange 15 October 2014 nanjengoba isikhathi u1733 kufanele kube u1933:57.
So are there any other changes that should be effected on this document on that table there, except for the ones that we have identified?
And you can also say that how I discussed it or mentioned yesterday, the towers also have to be changed.
Nanjengoba na izolo ke sikhulumile ngako ukuthi ke namathawa nawo kufanele ashintshwe.
Or the cell names?
That's correct. The
Thank
tower
you.
names, yeah.
Let's go to the cell names. Now let us start with the first column. The cell name in the first column reads 3G Kimberly MW CEN, I don't know what this stands for. Now, to what should this change to? Where should this one then change to? That when I'm the first column.
I handed in yesterday.
Let's effect the change on this document now, yeah. As I'm cross-examining you, let's effect. Oh, you want time to?
No, I handed
to
in
check to
my
what should it then
exhibit
change to?
yesterday. That one.
Excuse me?
I handed in my exhibit KK5.
Or you want to refer to your exhibit?
That's correct.
Okay, no, it's fine, you can take your time. Yeah. You say it's KK5?
That's correct. If you go to page 1768,
Just a second.
that's on your section 205.
You said what page is it?
1768.
That's 1768 of 4648.
4649.
4649, thank you. Right,
Right.
I'm there.
If you go there to 3rd August 2014, 0. It's also a wrong one, this one.
This is also a wrong one.
Yes.
Let's get the right one, the correct one. Should I really, on your behalf, request an adjournment so that you put your house in order there? Then
No,
you
no.
can probably come back, or it's not necessary?
It's not necessary.
Okay, thank you, sir.
It's not been printed in mine. It's not in there.
Excuse me?
No, no, I just said it's not in the statement of Pinky.
No, but Mr. Steyn, this is how it works. You know, this is how it works. Nay. When I'm cross-examining you, you only speak to me or to the court if the court something wants to clear. But you don't talk to the state. You request a permission to talk to the state, firstly from me. I convey it to the court, then the court gives that permission. But you can't simply, when you are in the witness box and I'm cross-examining you, you keep on referring to the state and talking to the state, which is the reason why I said to you, is it not appropriate for me to request a short adjournment from the court so that you put your house in order? And then you said, no, it's not necessary. Now you come and say, yours is not printed, and you're showing the state. Now, you're not, you don't belong to the state now. You belong to me. You are mine. I am yours. You are for the court. We are for the court. Should I therefore then request that we get a brief adjournment so that you put, you organize all your documents? Should I do that?
My lord, I don't see any necessity of this.
Okay.
Can I be excused? Because I don't have the time for this.
Thank you.
I got my own time
Yes.
to answer, and this is an exhibit of Pinky on which I'm working now on. It's not something I got with me now. It's not something I prepared for this cross-examination or to be recalled back.
Mr. Steyn, from my side, you are excused.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my lord.
Thank you. Then, oh, I thought we were leaving. When you said you
I
want
will
to be
wait for
excused, I thought you were
the-
going to leave.
The judge.
Mr. Steyn, Colonel Steyn is a colonel. He knows the law. He can't be dismissed by the council.
I'm not dismissing him.
No,
man.
you say he must leave. You say he must leave.
No.
I'm the only one who can tell him to leave. He knows that.
No,
Been
but
giving evidence for over 30 years.
That's correct.
Am I right about the 30 years? Sir?
Maybe more.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, go on if you want to go on.
so I don't know what is happening now, madam.
No, the
because he has
witness is here. He's
requested to be
seated. He's giving
excused.
evidence.
Excuse me, madam.
The witness is giving evidence.
No, I'm cross-examining him
Yes,
now.
continue.
Yes,
Continue.
he must answer questions.
Yeah, fine. Ask him.
Thank you.
But my lord, please, I don't have time for questions again and again and again. If I answer it one time, I think I'm finished with the question.
Okay, you can mention it that you answered it previously. You can,
That's correct, yeah.
if you have.
I have, yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I've requested you, sir. I said to you, what other information should we also correct in this table that you are now referring to Pinky's table? But this information is contained in your affidavit. But nonetheless, you said the towers should also be changed.
That's
you
correct.
you referred me to, I think, exhibit KK4, and then you said that document, is it KK4 or KK5? In KK5.
Yes.
Then you said that that document is also incorrect.
That's correct.
And
But-
then I said to you, let us get the right one. And then you then presented a document, and you had shown it to the state that that document is also not written. You understand? Now I said to you, would it appropriate for me to request on your behalf that we adjourn for a few minutes so that you sort out your documents? Then you say it's not necessary, you see. But that is problematic because we need to correct these cell towers, because we are saying also on this table, these cell towers must also change, you see. And for you to be able to effect the change on the cell towers, we must have a look at a particular document, you see. Because we can't pass this aspect of the evidence if we have not effected the necessary corrections, as per your indication that the cell towers also need to be corrected as well. Now, what is it that needs to be corrected in terms of the first tower that reads 3G, Kimberley MWCPN?
My page is only from 3rd August 2014, 01:30.
Le page engiphethe-ke kumina ukuthi yini ekufanele ishintshwe-ke la kubhalwe khona u-3G Kimberley MWCEN. Mina-ke eyami page iqala-ke ku-3 August ngo-1:13.
Like I mentioned yesterday, we can clearly see that she was on her way from Kimberley to this site.
Nanjengoba ngishilo-ke izolo-ke kuyabonakala noma uyabona-ke laphayana-ke ukuthi wayesendleleni-ke ebuya eKimberley eza ngala.
That I understand, sir. I'm not asking whether she was on the way or who was on his way, whatever. I'm saying, what amendments, what information should we then effect on that cell name on the first line? That is all that I'm requesting you to assist us with. We take out that 3G Kimberley MWCPN and substitute it with what? We are trying to amend your.
My lord, it is
your
really
affidavit.
necessary because I can prove to the court that she was moving from Kimberley to this side. What towers he was using, I don't think it's relevant.
Okay.
Ingabe sikhona yini-ke isidingo-ke ngoba-ke engakutshengisa inkantolo noma engakusho mina enkantolo ukuthi siyabona nje ukuthi wayebuya ngaseKimberley eza ngala ukuthi-ke yiphi ithawa-ke ekwawuyisebenzisa noma ewayiseduze-ke kuyona-ke cabanga nje ukuthi yinto leyo enesidingo.
But I'm basing this on your answer. When I asked you what else needs to be changed in that little table, you said the towers as well. Then I say to you, let us then effect those changes to reflect the correct towers. Now we are changing, you don't think it is necessary. Do I understand you well?
That's correct, ma'am.
Ngisho ke manje ukuthi angicabanga ukuthi ke sikhona ke isidingo manje.
Thank you. Now let's go to the second block, still on the cell name, because you said the towers in their plural form need to be changed. What change should then be effected on that cell name on the second block that reads as follows? 2G Ividale F ARM Lim 2. What change should then be effected in that block? You take that information and substitute it with what? Or what should be changed there? Should I request for a brief moment? an
No,
adjournment?
that one stays the same.
Oh, this one stays the same.
Ividale, Limpopo.
Lana ke yona akukho kushintshayo la kubhalwe khona ke u2G Ividale Farm uthi ke yona ke akunasidingo sokuthi kushintshwe lapha.
My lord, I think I've got a challenge. May I request?
What's the
an
time now,
adjournment?
Mr. Balloon?
It's 9 minutes past 3, my lord.
Are you available tomorrow, can
Yes, if I'm not off sick, I'm not.
Okay, let's adjourn until tomorrow.
As it is a court.